in the physical nature of these chairs. Well, in conversation, you can physically go up and down and put yourself above or beneath. So when people do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually, when I do the change my minds and sit with people, I actually kind of slump my shoulders and deliberately kind of make myself smaller, just to not, it's like, you know, what is it, the crab that has the red under its claws is showing danger? So I don't wear red, because apparently that signifies poison. But yeah, no, there's all these body language experts now, you watching TV, and I'm like, this seems like horse shit. Like, he looks to the left so you can tell he's lying.
Yeah, some of it is horse.
It's like, I saw him on camera, he killed his girlfriend with a butter dish. I don't give a shit what he says.
He took too long to say that answer. He had to think about it. No, he's thinking about what he wants to say.
Yeah.
He don't just spit shit out. He wants to think about what he's saying.
Last time we talked, we were kind of just, and the reason was just like, you know, often you see in news, people just kind of siphon themselves off right into an echo chamber. And I thought it was good. We were just kind of able to see other perspectives. Where do you think the country is now? Like, with that? Like,
is that an open question? Or?
Yeah, race relations between, because last time I wanted to get your perspective, and there's a perspective now in the white community. None of us are an ambassador for the entire community, but things have changed quite a bit the last year and a half. Temperatures have gone up. But what do you guys, what do you think we are in the country?
You know, I'd like to chime in on that.
Yeah.
I'm happy you asked that question. There are a lot of social and economic dynamics at play that have certainly gone, in my opinion, in the wrong direction. I don't think that people really understand the gravity of where we're headed. We are vastly sliding into an autocratic regime here. And absolutely, I'll give you several reasons. You see, in order to have, you can't have a one-dimensional approach when you're wanting to continue to lead from a global perspective, all right? What you see here today is an isolationism approach which has never worked in the past because we don't have an understanding of geography and history, all right? And I'll just simply close by saying, you got to understand something. The rest of the world is grossly infuriated with the way America has taken shape. And not only that, we're ceding all our best opportunities to China, right? Look around you in the relationships they're fostering with everybody else, which includes Canada, Mexico, and they've even gone as far down into the Latin American corridor, fortifying their bases while we're still hollering that we're the greatest.
You talking about China, like in the Panama Canal?
Not just the Panama Canal. Let's pivot from the Panama Canal and let's look at the long-term strategy they have now, where they've just signed an agreement with Mexico to build another canal bypassing the Panama Canal. And when you look at the whole transatlantic corridor, where you got now Brazil and Canada as well as Mexico trading, and they're stopping in Peru, where China has a huge presence at, circumventing completely the navigation, the use that comes with having to use the Panama Canal. So we'll avoid conflict with America and just simply go around America is what's happening here.
Talking about China?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I want to agree with the first part, autocratic. I think China needs to be dealt with, and this is the first time we are. I'm Canadian. Well, I was raised in Canada. Canada sucks. Canada is a dog shit country. Canada, the kind of shit we're doing right, you can't do this in Canada. If you say something too offensive or I say something too offensive, you will be jailed in Canada. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. So I'm fine with the U.S. being the best country. I came here from Canada because, I mean, I have friends who were arrested. I had a friend, stand-up comic, was fined for telling a joke. I don't think people realize how good we have it here in this country compared to other countries.
But that's the painstaking part about it all, is the fact that, you know, I've always been one to say, and I believe this firmly, freedom is not a right. It's a privilege until you wake up the next morning and find out you don't have it anymore.
Yeah. It also comes with duties.
That's what I was about to say. It also comes with responsibilities, because while we free to speak and say what we want, and I went to Montreal a few months ago, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bet you saw a lot of tits on signs. That's all it is.
No, I didn't.
It's just strip clubs. Our Times Square is a giant strip club.
It was a couple of them.
Yeah.
But no, like, there is responsibility, and like, everybody's from different places, different backgrounds. Some of us from certain backgrounds know, like, running your mouth too much in a certain space can get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Like, you're free to say what you want, you're just not free from the consequences. Like, the consequences that come with you saying the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that's where we all have responsibilities in what we say and when we say it.
Yeah. The problem, though, too, and that's, I was kind of talking more domestically, the problem with that idea is a lot of people are offended by different things. And so people get their ass whooped for something they didn't say, right? That's the real thing. I don't know if you guys were following the stabbing there on that train in Charlotte, Irina Zarutska. Last time I was asking where you guys thought we were, you know, as far as in the country relation. Like, have you guys heard of the term black fatigue? You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
I'm not sure.
What do it mean?
Yeah, it's a term that's being used by people in the white community, by and large, again, saying they feel like they've been victimized and they're tired of taking that shit. You know, that was a girl who was dying alone in public. And that was a guy who was let out 14 times. 14 times, including violent crimes in the name of racial justice, right? He didn't have to post bail. He didn't have to appear back in court.
And all y'all see is
How do we know that was in the interest of racial justice as opposed to just being
because the judge said it.
A fucked up attempt at justice, period.
Yeah.
Like, the legal system has its flaws.
Yeah.
And people have been making complaints about that for decades, right? But that's just, to me, that's a mental health thing more than it's a black and white thing.
Well, I'll tell you why, because white people are saying it now.
Right.
Not just white people are saying, hey, we're in
makes it a bigger thing.
Well, because, you know, white people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Where? Like, not in
the United States. I mean, we're not talking about Ghana.
And like,
yeah.
What I'm saying is, in white communities,
when did that happen?
Quote unquote so-called white communities?
Across the country, the rate is a black man or person, because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the average amount of times that someone in this country is arrested.
Bro, is he dumb?
Brought in for killing, charged with murder. Do you know how many times they're arrested on average before they murder? 11 times.
Once again, the justice system's got its flaws, and people have been complaining about that for years. We spend more time trying to fix that than trying to complain about the white.
I don't know where they heard that from. Why is that nigga talking about 12 times more likely? No, it's not.
Well, I think, just like I was trying to listen to all communities last time, I think this is something that's unavoidable. If this community, if enough white people get pissed off, they're going, look, we're living in New York now, we're getting killed in record numbers, or Detroit, 12 times the rate. And our system, 3 strikes in California, right? That was a 3-strike policy. The reason that was changed, they said it was racist. Crime went down in black communities 30%. But now people are looking at their cities going, this is a fucking hellscape. And the murders skyrocketed because people said in the name of racial justice, like 3 felonies, you're out.
Because crime is crime, right? But crime is usually going to be higher concentrated in areas where there's high poverty. So typically the areas that's high poverty in this country are areas with people with this color skin. So that's why you're going to have that. That's why I said those numbers could be skewed and made to manipulate to look like, oh yeah, that's why I said in
not at 12 times the rate.
In suburban neighborhoods, white people are not in danger, and that's what this kind of fear mongering tells them is that you're in danger because you're 12 times more likely to get killed by a black person. You live in ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody tripping on you. But
who is you afraid of? You
just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
That man was mentally insane.
But why was he back on
family members? He had his own family members call the hospital to try to get him committed. He told his sister he killed that woman because he thought she was trying to read his mind.
Yep. Why was he let out, though? And I'm not saying it's because he's black.
Yeah,
I'm saying people look at it, though. The judge said he's insane, right? We agree.
That's not a black and white issue.
He was deemed not fit to stand trial, right?
Right.
Now,
he should have been institutionalized.
Right. The IOU policy, meaning you don't have to pay bail. You don't even have to stay here until you're actually convicted. You just say you'll come back.
Right, which is messed up.
Yeah, the judge, Teresa Stokes, black woman, said, well, this is about racial justice. We need to be softer on crime. So that's her reasoning. That's why he was out. And you can find dozens of examples.
That's her misguided reasoning.
And that's policy.
But that's systemic, though, right?
That's not representative of a whole.
It's not. It's not. No, and look, we always have to say not all. Like, not all white people wear MAGA hats and are dumbass pieces of racist shit. But we have all been accused of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia. What I'm saying is black fatigue is white people going, you know what? I know I'm not racist. And I know that we're dealing with record
you
people.
are,
I know
though.
that I'm more at risk, and they have negative interactions, and they're
Not
constantly
more
told
at
that they're not allowed to
risk.
voice their fucking opinion because they're white. And if those people get pissed off, like that's where we actually could end up with some kind of. I'm telling you, I see this brewing. I see people who were milk toast white suburban who are becoming actually racist. Now, not all of them, but I've seen people actually become racist because they get mugged, their store gets looted, and nothing gets done. They're going, and if I say something, it's turned into a racing. I'm telling you what, that's where it's coming from. At what point do we have a talk and go like, okay, let's reform justice, but we have to be honest as to why it was reformed in the first place. This guy, it's not even the only one. It's every 3 days someone's being offed.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's transfer that over.
Someone's being off, but not being off because they're white. Y'all is not. Y'all not finna motherfucking manipulate us. Steven, you're not finna manipulate us, Steven. Come on, bro. Debate with me.
To, you know, I mean, there's a lot of unsafe things in this world. Like getting mugged by a black person is not the paramount unsafe thing. There's school shootings. There's road rage. There's all of that shit.
Yep.
And the primary people that commit a lot of those are people who don't have this skin.
No.
So
Yes.
if switch it over, if black people say, well,
Yes, 67%. 67%. 67% of the Caucasian pasty pilgrim race do all crimes. 67%.
we getting fed up and we tired of all these school shootings and all of these road rage and all that. Who do we say something to? Who hears our voice?
And when does the white fatigue
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
Well, we've been
Who
hearing about
hears
white.
us?
That's the point, right? We've been hearing about it all our lives, about white fatigue, about systemic discrimination.
But
I'm
No.
Canadian,
been
right?
done. That's the
You're
problem.
correct.
Yeah, none been
That's why
done.
we've done systemic justice reform that has led to more crime, right? That's the reason for no three-strike policy. That's the reason for cashless bail. That's the reason for catch and release. The reason for it, in the wake of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd riots, Summer of Love, was we're going to reform crime,
That didn't
we're going to reform the
start
justice system,
happening because
and it's
of
gotten
George
worse
Floyd.
everywhere it's been. And then when white people leave those neighborhoods, well, now it's white flight. If they come in, it's gentrification. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are pissed off, and they're not going to sit down and have this conversation and be real about it. And they're going, well, what happens when someone has to keep their mouth shut about everything?
Nobody
it's
tell
not
you
that
have to
deep.
keep
That's
your
how they
mouth
feel.
shut.
That's how they
It's not
feel.
that I don't believe white people have to keep their mouth shut. I think white people don't speak up about a lot of the things that they do and they perpetuate that affects us negatively. That's the stuff that nobody wants to. That the issues aren't made about those things. You know. I really respect the platform that you have because you do have open and honest conversations. And I have to say, I don't believe that those numbers about the black people murdering white people are correct. I don't believe those numbers
They
are
are.
correct.
What if they are? What if I'm not lying to you?
If you're not, then I've been misled and I've been isolated from
You are
realistic
lying
numbers.
to
But
us,
I know
though.
in
That's
this
the
country,
thing.
from the time that we got here and until now, there's never been hordes of black people that just go out and maraud and menace white people. Now, interactions happen and things do occur. I'm not saying that they don't, but not by and large in number. We can't be this small a percentage of the overall population and still have
And
the
then,
numbers that people try to
exactly.
perpetuate on to us. See, black people do more harm to other black people than we do to other white people.
Well, that's true. That's true. Because people who are close. That's
And
true.
we also have historical evidence of groups of white people attacking and chasing black people.
So it's
Coming after.
So
Like,
when people
we have
say
historical
it's not
evidence
happening
of it.
now.
So when
I'm
people-
just saying.
And that's the point. Is we're at a
That's-
precipice right
That's
now.
a part of the historical condition.
Well, sure, but someone today.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I
hold on,
wasn't
Big
finished
Mike,
making
go.
my point.
Sorry,
I
bro.
wasn't finished making my point. You know, when like I said, black fatigue, that's the newest mantra that's been put out into society to make people think that, okay, they tired of black people. They tired of what you said, that we can't say anything about black people. We can't do, well, when you hold all the power, when you hold all the economic rights, when you hold all the things that make this country move, when you're in charge of those things, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what, I put it like this. White people got the firecrackers, we got the stem. That's it. Y'all got the power. The power is placed outside of the black community. We're charged with all the negative things. Those are the things that are really generally coincide with how people relate to us. The bad stuff that's go wrong with this world is the black people's fault. We the smallest part of this country. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? Beside the immigrants that come here, we have been tasked with the negative, the criminal, the immoral. That's us, and that's what we consider. That's white fatigue. But you know what we do? We just say that's just how it's always been. So we don't make
Exactly.
up words for it.
We don't make up words for it. We just gotta keep talking about some shit. That's life. That's just life. You know, like something that just happened. Motherfucking, like they saying, road rage. Road rage. People can have road rage and let a motherfucking white nigga kill a black nigga. Shit, he shouldn't have had road rage. Now let the white nigga get killed, man. It's gonna be, by the black nigga, it's gonna be a whole different thing. Whole different thing. The white nigga that got killed, his family finna make sure that black nigga in jail. They don't care who he is. It's crazy.
So now you have a frustrated group of white constituents that feel like, oh, we can't say anything. We have to do this. We have to do that so you don't be deemed as that. Well, if you wasn't that in the beginning to start with, there would be no need for the reform or the feelings that you have. You can't say anything about, because you done treated us like shit for so long, and people finally stood up and said, hey, you got to stop treating us like shit. Now that you want to feel like, you know, things aren't going in the manner that you want them. Now we want the right to keep saying those things.
What if your premise is completely flawed? And what I mean by that is, if we're trying to understand it, you said you have power in all those institutions.
Yes.
What if, for example, you have an entire generation of people, young white men, women, who if they apply to a college or apply to a job, they don't have a grant, there's no Pell Grant, there's no type of subsidy, there's no DEI initiative. As a matter of fact, they're likely to be passed over. They hold no institutional power. And when you say black people haven't done anything, when you think of this white person, a young white person, because I'm seeing some people become radicalized and it can become a problem. Yeah. And then they see billions of dollars and riots and damages all summer long, and then they go, why is this happening? Black Lives Matter, right? So they're gonna make that connection. Now they have no institutional power, but if they go into a neighborhood that's largely black, they're gonna get the shit kicked out of them. And they're being blamed for something that supposedly their racist forefather did that they have nothing to do with. You think we're ever going to have unity? This is the problem. Unity.
Bro, what? I have never, ever seen that in my lives of living. I done seen white folks be in the neighborhoods all the time and not get the shit kicked out of them. I don't know what the hell going on. You joined on the real shit. This real shit right here. You joined on the real shit. Hey, Kiara. How you feel? How you living, big bro? This real life. This the real life, man. No way that nigga say the white nigga gonna get the shit kicked out of him. He go to a black neighborhood. That don't happen. That don't happen. Y'all was doing that to us.
If let's
Y'all
say your
doing
dad's
that to
or your
us.
grandfather's a
Can't complain,
and you walk
big
up
bro.
and you
We
slap
can't
his teenager,
complain.
you now have made that person hate you for life. And that's what I'm seeing with young, not even my generation. Younger people are going, I had nothing to do with this shit. They came up during the riots. They've come up under DEI, and they're seeing a 12-time murder rate, skyrocketing crime, and any proposals they make, not holding institutional power, shut down as racist.
Now, why was DEI even instituted in the first place? Because for the majority of time that black people have been in this country and been free, we've been denied so much. Somebody somewhere had to put some things in place to provide access of some kind.
If you believe that, that's fine, but you can't tell that young white kid who had nothing to do with it that he should just sit down and take it. Especially when they're getting killed at 12 times the rate.
They not getting killed at 12 times the rate.
The young white man that has to
Not in my
deal with the
lifetime.
DEI, the young person of this generation that you said that feels they're misled by the being mistreated by the DEI.
I'm just using it as an example. They don't hold any institutional power. Young white people don't. They don't have an advantage.
Not yet, because they're young white people. They have an advantage.
They do got an advantage. The advantage is the white.
Where the power comes. See, what black people, once again, when you got colleges that denied access to black people, you can't come here. Something had to be put in place.
Do they not realize that's the whole reasoning of having a HBCU? Because the PWIs didn't want us there. I'm just all confused. I don't know. I don't get it. They talking about the niggas don't have motherfucking advantages and shit. Black folks had to make their own college. Y'all didn't even want us to have education. We had to go make our own college so we won't get jumped on campuses.
Well, look, y'all got to let some black people come in. Y'all can't just exclude
That started happening long before DEI. Long before black people were admitted into colleges, HBCUs.
Hold on, let me say what I'm trying to say.
My bad. My bad, I'm trying to make it clear.
He's trying to do a senior Wences and talk through you. So that,
Well, because you trying to.
No, I get it.
DEI is just a new way of wrapping affirmative action.
Yeah.
Affirmative action had to be put in place because there was the access being denied. So the legislation had to be put in place. Well, look, we can't just exclude all of them. So somewhere along the line, they have to be allowed some access. Okay, that was put in place. Now, fast forward till now, those same things that are put in place for those people back in those generations that are still in place, they're not excluding people from getting to places they're just still trying to keep those doors open so that those black people that were coming through that door can still get in. Because if you remove those, over time, we will be denied the access.
If a black person has lower SATs, right, and lower GPA, should he get in over an Asian or a white person?
Let me ask you.
If all things are supposed to be laid out equal, no, you shouldn't get. If you don't have it,
That's what's
have what
happening.
it takes to get in.
Well, look, I knew he was gonna say that. That nigga gonna say that's what's happening. Bro, what? I don't know what the fuck they looking at. Obviously they not looking at real life because that's not what's happening. That's literally not what's happening. Obviously not looking at real life because that's not what's happening at all. But this is how they get you.
No, but
It is happening, and I'm telling you, young white dudes are pissed. I'm telling you.
Majority
That's
of what's
not. Yeah, that's literally. He talking about the possibility. Yeah, it's possible. That's not generally what's happening at all. Generally, the white niggas are getting in colleges, schools, jobs repeatedly. Come on, bro. Like, I don't know why he trying to make it sound good for y'all. This is crazy.
It is happening.
It is in relation to DEI, first of all. DEI has been more beneficial. I'm a former commercial contractor, all right? DEI and affirmative action have benefited white people vastly more so than black people. All you gotta do is look at the business ownership.
Exactly.
And you notice that
You sprinkle a little
that
black
white
nigga in
female
there,
happens to be
they
51%, then she qualifies as a minority and a double minority because she's white. She's among the minority in business ownership, and she happens to be.
Hey, now he's spitting because are they really hiring the blacks or are they hiring the motherfucking people who got 25% black in them, got motherfucking 30% black in them, but they still white-skinned it on the outside? So then motherfucking, they like, no, that's a black person right there. We making our motherfucking job. We making our corporation mixed and what is it? Is it biracial? Diverse, that's the word. Motherfucker, we making our corporations diverse. Literally, lack the resources. They don't believe it though. They don't want to believe it.
Female, right? So you look at that based on population dynamics, and that automatically tells you this whole thing about DEI was number one, not as much targeted to
us.
as much as it was.
It was just to make y'all look good. We're not racist. We hire y'all. That's all it was for, just to make y'all look good. No, we can't be racist. We hire black people all the time. What, you talking about Sally who don't want to be black and grew up next to all the white folks and was mad that she had to go home and see black people? Like, is that what you talking about? You talking about those people? Come on, bro.
Minorities, which includes that LGBT,
I agree.
all right? So when we talk about that, we need to really deal with the real problem. And as it relates to the riots, let me tell you something right now. Listen,
Yeah, now
in
the
black
riots, I don't know
community,
nothing
I'll
about
be
it,
the
I ain't
first to
gonna
say
lie.
now, we do have intractable problems that
nothing
are not
about the
going to be
riots.
solved in one conversation. But what I'm going to say about that as well as the reason why the black community becomes so infuriated, all right, is when you see gross negligence of justice happen or misjustice happening and nobody does anything. When this guy kneeled on this man's neck, was going back to George Floyd, Look, if he had done something, when he was subdued and on the ground, what was the real reason for kneeling on his neck except to inflict fatal harm? What was it?
I can tell you exactly what it was, and I can tell you why you're not.
What you gonna say? You gonna say that it's police training? So then let's not be mad at that specific police officer. Let's go back to it's a system that y'all automatically got in place to deem that y'all are something like that, easily getting away with something. Yeah, I can just go ahead and put my knee on the nigga neck, make sure I cut his circulation off, and it's cool in the eyes of the motherfucking public. Like, bro, that's not real. Let the black nigga do that. It's crazy. He's motherfucking out of there with no problem.
Recognizing the problem, because the opinion polls, and I'm not saying right or wrong, the opinion polls have changed on George Floyd since I last spoke with you. You know why?
Why?
All the body cam footage came out. You know what? You know why? Because he was there for 12, 15 minutes, asked to be put in the car, they put him in the car, asked for air conditioning, gave him air conditioning, asked to be taken out of the car, they took him out of the car. He wouldn't.
So that be kill him? Like, what do that mean? That mean kill him? So because the body cam footage was a long body cam footage, now that just mean it was okay for his death to happen? I'm confused. What do that mean? Usually y'all don't take nobody out the car once y'all got him in the car unless he at the station anyway. So I'm a little confused.
Moving. People have watched it now and go, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. You know how many times he was arrested before that? 9. He shouldn't have been. You know what would have saved him? 3-strike policy. He robbed a woman at gunpoint with a child in the house. And so white people look at it, young white people, right?
It's like, what? Just imagine this world. My nigga he literally got, we see his last breaths. He got murdered. That has nothing to do with what he's talking about. But the way they go justify it is, well, he could have been saved if he would have been in jail because he robbed somebody. So you want my nigga to live in jail forever? So jail ain't a reforming thing, I see. It's a rotting in there for your whole life type thing. Okay, I'm getting it. It's death penalty happening. It don't even gotta be the state that got death penalty. They gonna get your ass gone for surely. I'm telling you.
You have to understand, during COVID, this is a whole generation of people. White people did not have any fucking opportunities during COVID. They didn't get to go to the graduation, college, black, white, all of them, right? It's a generation that's pissed. Rightfully so, they got screwed. I think we can agree on that. They're going, I watched my city burn down for a guy who was arrested 9 times and committed violent crimes against women. What?
Like what?
Now, you know, let me say
That's a travesty of justice. He shouldn't be out in public.
Let me say this to you.
How many felonies does President Trump have on his record? Yeah, he was still allowed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a little confused here. That's your argument, bro? Is that y'all gonna be thinking y'all watched the city burn for a nigga who got arrested 9 times? That's not what happened. That's not what happened. This guy was an innocent man. Maybe the nigga before he wasn't innocent. But the one that y'all had in them cuffs, we didn't see him do nothing wrong. He was an innocent man right there. I don't know why we bring it up to 12 years ago shit. This is crazy.
None. No criminal felonies.
Trump is a whole PDFer. Trump is a PDFer. What are you talking about? Just because it's because people don't get caught. Just because y'all good at not getting caught, the pasty pilgrims, they good at not getting caught. It's okay. I know y'all good at being in denial. Y'all good at not getting caught. You know, stuff. Even though 67% of the crimes are committed by white people, pasty pilgrims, even though, you know, that's out there that they don't want to talk about. You know?
No criminal felonies, but he's got moral felonies, which would, if there was a court of justice for that, he probably would be tried a long time ago. I mean, let's talk about it.
Is this where we all get on board with crazy white bitches who accuse women of rape?
No,
I thought we'd fight. She accused 20.
Now every girl accuser. Now it's every girl accusing her.
6 men have raped that crazy
but
broad.
here's the reality, though. And when you look at the convergence of this new agenda, where you're going strictly in the blue cities, why is it that most of those blue cities also happen to be occupied? The areas they're going in are heavily occupied by minorities. Why is that so?
Well, black people tend to vote Democrat.
Exactly. The nigga a whole PDFer. A lot of these. like I just said, 67% of the crimes is committed by white people. And I'm pretty sure it said like 60% of the crimes that white people do are related to SA. It's like, you know, MAGA supporters, PDFers go hand in hand. Caucasian PDFers go hand in hand. It's like right there. The pipeline is not far.
Run by Democrats. Detroit, you can look at it. You can look at Chicago. Is that what you mean?
I mean, no, that's not what I'm asking you at all. What I'm asking you is, like I said, with this all-out assault right now, just last night they were talking about something in Chicago, right? But 1 o'clock in the morning, you had people in military gear, what have you, helicopters and all this kind of stuff like this. Not just
trying to get
knocking
the
doors
National
down,
Guard
but
in that
dragging
bitch.
people out.
Because it's the murder capital of the country. You just said black people are more harmed by this. We don't want to take out murderers?
No. I think really what truly was you're confusing what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah, that's what it is. He don't get it. Cause what the hell? This ain't the 50s. You talking about they dragging people out they crib? Full fucking shields.
National Guard in Chicago?
No, what I'm trying to say to you is this, though. If we're going to talk about the problem, let's talk about the problem in its totality. The fact about it is, when you talk about white America being pissed, white America is going to always find a reason that doesn't fit
be
their
bad.
narrative or what have you. But what white America fails to talk about, and what never ceases to amaze me, is the fact that the biggest threat is not going to come from blacks. The biggest threat is coming from within. You look at the average person that's been committing some of the most heinous crimes over the days, it's 22 to 29-year-old white males, right? Look at how ready they were.
It's just not true, man. Violent crime, you just said, like you said, a small percentage of the country, about 12 to 13%, 50% of the violent crime, but the murder, a 12 times likelihood.
That's not true.
So you don't listen to them?
No, I said that particular stat is skewed.
It's not skewed.
That's not true.
The FBI, DOJ. And you know what else we look at? We look at
That's
Roland
not true.
Fryer from Harvard, who conducted it, black professor, really respectable guy, honorable man, conducted a study, and he came out and he said, yeah, all of my research says that black men are 0% more likely to be shot by police officers than whites. Black people got so mad at him, he reconducted the study, a black man from Harvard, and he came to the same conclusion, and now he's not black enough.
So because you found the raccoon that did a study, that's why we're saying all the numbers are skewed. There's a million different studies. There's going to be studies that say what you agree with, then there's going to be studies that say what I agree with. Nobody want to say all the studies, though. That's like, come on, bro. So you just picked the one study of the raccoon that said, oh, yeah, black men got a 0% chance of getting shot advantage by a cop than a white person. They both had a 0% advantage. That's one study, bro. Come on, it's millions. That's one. It's millions.
Wait. So let me.
That's what I'm saying. They be skewed.
You're saying,
all this should
according
be
to this
skewed.
guy's statistics, right, that black people are 0% less likely to be shot by a white police officer.
A liberal professor at Harvard, yes, and he conducted it twice. Because black people said what you're saying. He goes, look, I was as surprised as you. I was trying to find how much worse it is. My data showed me it's not. He reconducted the study an entire time. Now, he did come to the
Congratulations
conclusion
for that
an officer
guy.
is 18 times more likely to be shot.
Like, what?
This is a black liberal who studies statistics. At what point do you listen to him?
Once again,
I don't believe him.
That's skewed too.
Right. And if he comes out and says something of the sort, there's no telling the backlash that he may not get. Listen, there are token blacks in every society. I mean, all you have to do is look back. And there we go.
Niggas be sellouts. Like, come on, bro. Niggas be sellouts. But then we start realizing a lot of people don't mind being a sellout. You start understanding a lot of people don't care to be a sellout. They want to be a sellout. It's okay to be a sellout. It's a sad world. Uncle Ruckus really changed the game. Boondocks really showed us, I see.
Right.
And Uncle Tom? This guy? Come on.
No, but here's my thing, Steve. Right? I'm not alleging that the guy wasn't Uncle Tom, but let's be frankly honest. How many shootings have happened in most recent history that have involved black men that have been unarmed? And you sit here and use that analogy that black men are 0 times. Listen, as a totally blind individual, listen, I'm even apprehensive. There was an incident where the police stopped us, and it was my cousin and I. My cousin is a retired military vet or what have you, right?
Old niggas.
When we got out of the car, our out of fear of possibly being shot, the first thing I did was raise my cane and say, officer, I said, listen, I am totally blind. Before we get out of hand with this, right? Now, I shouldn't have to
Shouldn't have to
like
do that.
But when you
I shouldn't have to do that. Just like you shouldn't have to have your hands outside your car during a traffic stop, just to make sure the officer understand, hey, nothing's going on here, officer. There's not about to be no type of crazy situations, you know? It's certain things that y'all don't even realize, and I get it because y'all not going through it. So how can y'all realize something y'all not going through? I get it. I get it. Y'all will never understand.
Y'all looking at what's really happening in this country. Many times because see, here's the deal. I don't care if you put on a uniform. You can't legislate the heart of a man and his intent. All right. And many times these officers do allow that badge to give them impunity to operate and exercise their racism. Let's be honest here, Steve.
Some of them do. By the way, I just find it funny that when I came up and shook your hand, you didn't tell me you were blind this whole time. I was like.
I didn't know that nigga was blonde either. Now the glasses make sense.
You could have said, dude, I'm blind. I was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. This whole thing. You just throw that out there like a cluster bomb. I'm like,
Say you should have waved his cane when you came in.
I feel like an asshole in the middle of the room.
That's what I told you when you said, "Is he sleep behind the glasses?" I was like, "No, he just can't see you."
Hey, look, I thought you was making a joke. I said, oh my God, here's this condescending asshole here.
It's okay. He forget he blind sometimes.
I had no idea.
No, that's OC.
Yeah, but I do. I agree. You can't legislate what's in a man's heart.
Yeah.
But you can't throw out everything. You can't go, that scat skewed. That black guy from Harvard who was always a liberal who did it twice, it's skewed. You can't throw it out.
How often do you see
Two truths can be true. Two things can be true.
black police killing unarmed white people?
Actually,
How often do you see
rarely.
that? How often do you see that?
Very
well, I tell you, actually, the stats show that when you're dealing with armed white people versus black armed people, white armed people are more likely to be shot by the cops than black.
White armed people are more likely to kill police officers. Look at what happened in Kansas where those five police
Let's call the
officers were
stats
gunned
a
down.
wash on that. Here's what I do know. Everyone wanted the body cam footage, and I agree. I was like, we should have body cam footage. We should have accountability for police officers, right? And we were to believe after the era of, remember, we went through Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, obviously George Floyd. There were so many that you could use as examples. We thought that we'd have a rash of body cam footage showing us the police brutality. You haven't seen body cam footage of note in the last year. Once that footage came out, it's about a 20-to-1 ratio where you see someone getting violent with an officer. We have not seen what we thought we would see. And now people are going, okay, so maybe not the body cam footage, right? We thought we'd see all the abuse.
Wait a minute,
Reflects
before
the
you
stats.
jump off of that point, what about the body cam footage where we see white people and white police, and the white citizen is being belligerent with the police, but the police showing extreme restraint in dealing with that person, whereas black people will reach for your wallet, bow, you get shot. I got a phone in my hand, bow, you get shot.
And that's not.
I'm not
sick.
doing anything.
It's
Bow, you
sick.
get
The
shot.
stats don't reflect it. But
here's the
white
thing.
people are being killed in record numbers right now, and they're pissed. And if you keep just not listening to them,
White people are being killed not by black people, though. Oh my God. Like, why do they keep saying that but not putting in that last part? You gotta put in that last part, bro. Yeah, y'all can be getting killed at a regular number. Oh wow, it's not that many white people for the first time in the world. It's they population has finally went less. Whoop-de-doo. But y'all are not getting murdered by black people at a high rate. Come on, bro.
look, like you said, white people are the majority of this country. You have young white people who are getting more and more mad. I'm just telling you the truth.
What they mad
And they have
at?
the
Black
guns.
people
They're
hold
mad
no
because this
power.
thing.
Why they mad at
Here's
black
why. Here's why. They go, look, I'm 12 times more
People
likely
in power are always mad. It's
to
crazy.
be killed by a black person than you are a white person. And you go, well, that doesn't count. They go, look, my dad's business got burned down.
And where?
My
My dad business got. What about the nigga who died didn't show up? Like, what about, no, for real? They trying to. It's a fantasy. I was talking about that the other day. It's a fantasy. Everybody try to. Why do everybody hate the black people so much? Let me go see what it's about. And now it turns into the fantasy, but we seen it in movies too, you know, when they talk about once you go back black, you never go back, shit like that. All it's crazy. It's crazy how they look at us. Like, we're not just human, you know? Like, we're not just the same type of human flesh that bleed with bones in our body and blood pumping. It's kind of crazy, but...
City got burned down. I've been accused of being a racist, even though I'm not. And I'm looking at this right now, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion. And I can't go into certain neighborhoods because I get my ass kicked. And then you just say, yeah, but you've had systemic power. That is a surefire way to breed racism.
Let's be frank about that, Steve. Now, first of all, here's why I disagree with you
guess.
emphatically, right? Number one, when it
Now
is
it's more
historical,
racist. We already dealing with it,
riots,
though.
And this is the crazy part. Most times, we as blacks, we tend to riot in our own neighborhood for the same reason why we're not 12 times likely to kill a white person, because of that fact that the penalty is going to be much harsher.
Exactly. I'm trying to understand, when did I hear people talking about, yeah, we finna go hit this White House, they shit fat. No, they hit the hood. They hit the hoods. They hit the trap house. They steal the cars in the hood. They rob the stores in the hood. I don't be hearing niggas going to jail for robbing, home invasion, and it was this fat ass crib. They got away with all this jewelry. This was a white banker house. Da 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 da. I'm all confused on this.
Okay, if black people were really the kind of threat and menace to white people as we're gonna sit here and say that they are, never mind the stats, there's no way in the world that most of us would still be here, because guess what? You guys would find a way to deal with the problem if it is from a multiplicity of angles,
Exactly.
all right? So, like I say, when I'm saying this right now, when it comes to
we did
stats,
deal with it.
who controls that narrative, Steve?
We did deal with it. You know what we dealt with it in liberals in blue cities? Cashless bail, catch and release. We did everything that was demanded. Defunded the police in certain neighborhoods. Guess
But
what?
no blacks ever asked for defunding the police officers.
Yeah, they have.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the deal.
They did ask for that. Now that's something I can't say. They did ask for that defunding their police, my boy. That's something I can't say. I remember those. I'm like, damn. I don't think that's gonna go good either. Y'all want to defund the niggas? They do that with the money they already got. So now you think giving them less money gonna make them better? You go do stuff for pennies. Let me go see how you act. You go do something for pennies.
It's mostly, that's what I'm saying. It's mostly black women. It's mostly black activist women. And they're not representative of black men. I get that.
Just like the guy who killed the lady on the bus that you were talking about earlier, right? He doesn't represent Black America and what he did. I mean, listen.
Here's where he does. Just listen to me here. Here's where he does. Here's where he does to a lot of people. And this is what I'm just trying to, because last time I sat and listened, but I want you to hear something really important. Here's where he does. Young white, that person's parents, that person's relatives, look at it and go, wait a second. This guy was out 14 times, and the reason he was out 14 times was because a black female judge, in the name of restorative justice, who has received funding from NGOs, said, we're gonna have cashless bail and catch and release and the IOU policy in the name of racial justice. So people are going, my daughter's dead because it would have been racist to keep this guy in jail. You need to
I'm telling you right now, bro. That's not what young college people are thinking. Y'all literally go to college campuses and debate them. They don't think that. Like, they're not thinking that. I'm trying to tell you that right now. Yeah, alright, bro. You think that's what the college people... What are you talking about again? Anomaly? The 1% of them? Okay. He only want to talk about the 1%, not the generality.
Understand that, right? But you understand it, though, right? Because you just made those same judgments about people who existed 150 years ago.
Yeah.
This is someone's sister.
Her flawed judgment does not represent the opinion of black people, number one.
Okay, it represents a systemic correction.
Well, let's talk about systemic correction. And you know what the problem really is? When you defund our opportunities to provide adequate psychiatric and institutionalization for those kind of people, that wouldn't have happened. Because let me tell you something, even as a black person, as a judge, if you come before me 11 times with all of the information that you provided me with, you know what, before I release you, you know what, I'm going to have you committed to an institution, because number one, the greater good is for me to preserve public integrity, and that's on both sides of the spectrum. I don't give a damn if you're black or white.
Why do you think they're not committing him to an institution?
Because there's no funding available.
No, they were shut down in the name of restorative racial justice. That's why he wasn't institutional.
Bro, you can send people to institutions, bro. What is he talking about? And his family. Am I tripping? What is he talking about? You can send people to institutions. It's always always blame it on you black people asked for this not to happen. So now it's all shut down. All the mental institutions all shut down all over the world. That's what you want me to believe? All right, bro.
His family
He should have
pushed
been in
against
prison.
it too. His family pushed against it in certain like there's some of them cases where they were in court. His family was saying, "Don't put him in there."
I know. And who gives a shit?
But I'm just saying that's part of it. But when you only include the part that says the judge, you're not giving the whole story, and that's what media ends up doing. That creates these tensions in people. They straw man conversations and only tell part of it.
No, it's not a straw. The tension is there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The tension is already there. White people are afraid to go in black neighborhoods because
So should black people be afraid to go to school because a white person go come shoot the school up?
Right.
Because every time we see that, that's what keeps happening.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. I must be tripping. He must don't understand what gentrification is. That's what they do. They go into black neighborhoods to take them over. I'm all confused on how they so scared.
Church.
But now you're going to ignore. Now you're going to ignore that.
I'm scared to go to church.
You scared to go to church, but you sitting in the barbershop with almost 12 black men. Come on, Steve. Now let's be realistic.
Be real. That's what I'm saying. You talk about the white niggas all scared to be around. Bro, look at you. I thought you scared. Bro, y'all gotta stop it.
It's more at risk sitting down right here.
Exactly. He know he's not in danger around us.
No, I'm much more risk.
We don't do that.
And here's an irony.
You know I just watched my friend die, right?
Steve, let me say this. Know what bothers me about white people, and this is kind of where not everything.
Almost.
Well, smell like wet dog or something. I've heard all this stuff.
Let me tell you what bothers me about white people. Let's be honest here.
In denial.
A lot of white people, so I have nothing against them at all. Let me be honest with you. But the problem that
I think you use the I got a black friend. I work with white people. I got no problem with them at all.
Constantly get bombarded with the excuses, all right? When you really come
In
down
denial.
to it, let's be honest, man, and let's be really truthful with one another. Ask yourself, what do you expect when you look at architectural oppression, economic depravity, and social disparity? What would you call it? I mean,
Bad decisions.
Huh?
Bad decisions.
Bad decisions.
Damn.
I think right now
bad
in 2025
decisions.
it's bad decisions. I think everyone can make bad
And
decisions.
you know what? I'll even go here with you. In all fairness, I think that's absolutely true. So my question for you is, how do we move past this?
Yeah. Okay.
How do we move past
I agree with you.
That's the problem right there. Just two people ain't gonna make it happen for the whole world. That's the problem.
And I think maybe we'll find some common ground here. If we agree there is personal accountability and bad decisions, and I think we also all agree that feminist white are the worst demographic in the country, along with lesbians.
There's a great book that says,
Damn, YouTube, don't demonetize me because of what this guy just said. I don't know why he would say such a thing. We is feminists over here. Like, what is he talking about, bro? And we're like, bro, what are you talking about? Why would he say such a thing? We hate period cramps. Like, what's up with this guy?
it were her problem. See, that's what I'm saying.
Like I'm telling you, like believe me, I don't have a. Hold on. Let me just clarify, and I mean that. Angry
Like, what's up with
feminists
niggas?
and lesbians? Because if they didn't vote, we wouldn't have.
This
half
is
of the
we
shit.
hate period
And this is one thing I
cramps.
appreciate about black men, that white men are so black men
What's
can talk
going
about these
on?
things, and black men are okay being masculine. White men are told it's sexist. There's a lot there. Personal accountability decisions. Now, just take that and apply it. What you kind of just did here is you blamed white people, without realizing it, for systemic discrimination, and that removes autonomy from a white person to be accountable and also rewarded for their good decisions. So if we agree it's bad decisions, personal accountability, we'd all be against reparations, and we'd all be against the criminal justice reform.
I'm definitely for reparations.
I'm for reparations.
So Mark,
See, that to me,
yeah.
you said excuse. There's
No,
that sounds like an excuse to me.
You ain't paid me back. You ain't paid me for what you owe me. It's
What
no
did I
way-
take from you?
You can't start another.
Shit, do we gotta get started?
I take from you.
You didn't take but your ancestors.
But you just said you.
When I say you, I meant it as a euphemism.
But can you understand why white people hear it and get pissed off?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I take shit.
Yeah, sure.
But they not mad about the advantage.
Just like we get pissed off from how we get treated. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Whoop-de-doo. Now you feel how I feel to be mistreated. Ha ha. Got 4 more hours of work. Oh yeah, you grinding.
Privileges that were built into their lives.
So you
Nah, I was finna go by sweet.
Sounds like an excuse.
Nobody wants to address. And
Sounds like an
listen,
excuse.
even without paying us back, Steve, know what my thoughts are on this here. Give us an opportunity to exercise our ability and our autonomy. Let me give you a perfect example. There's a gal right now, her name is Joy Reid. Look up her.
Oh, I know Joy Reid. She's out of her mind.
Look up her educational background. You don't think Harvard gave her a degree just because she was a black person or DEI, do you?
I think she's an idiot.
Okay, so
Wow.
Not because she's black, but she's an idiot.
Okay, so
Who is Joy Reid, guys?
I think Van Jones is smart, and I disagree with him. Joy Reid has said things that are so verifiably untrue. It's insane.
Okay, so but you know, as a man, I'm gonna indulge you and say, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna indulge you. I'm gonna respect your opinion, your frame of thought on that, right? I beg to differ tremendously, but nevertheless, though, that's why we're having this open discussion. But let's really talk about
Joy Reid?
where we need to go from here on, and that is the fact that black people have every sense of entitlement as it relates to having reparations. And I'm going to tell you why, right? Because nobody has ever been as more loyal to white people despite the treatment than black people have, right? Nobody. You show me one race. You know what? They make options and opportunities available.
That ain't why I thought
ethnicities
we
come
should
here
get it.
or
What the
have you,
hell?
that we
You
will
fucking
never get a
raccoons.
chance to have, right? And then they turn around and tell us,
Loyal in what way?
stop asking about reparations. Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem. So white America.
So it spends several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
Wait, spend $7 trillion on what? What did they spend it on?
Let's go back to Lyndon Johnson model.
Lyndon Johnson, you talking about the war on poverty? Is that what we talking about?
Yeah.
1965?
Why was that done?
All right, but here's the deal.
What about the Department of Education?
Here's the deal. So now you're saying the Department of Education. Let's go back to the Department of Education.
Okay,
You gotta
so
take it all the
my
way.
point is
Stop,
these
Steve.
were.
Steve.
Hold on. No, I didn't answer your question.
All right.
The reason that this was given, right, when you're talking about the Great Society program, the reason when you look at the Model Cities program, urban planning, $8 billion into Detroit, adjusted for inflation, the reason that, and I don't know if you know this, black students in this country get more spending per pupil than white students. I don't know if you know that. That's an actual fact. Even in impoverished neighborhoods, the public funding. These were the reparations that were asked of white people throughout each decade, given, and then we're told, no, that's not the real one. They were given, whether you like them or not, whether you think they work or not. And by the way, I think they're dog shit. I think we should completely suspend the Federal Department of Education. I think the Texas state could do a much better job. But those were done in the name of racial reparations because they were demanded,
Steve,
and now it's not enough.
You say that, but Steve, listen.
What was
you
that?
say we should suspend the Department of
I agree with you, because it's so why would they do it
It's not
correctly?
because it's not just because it was done in the name of racial justice that it was done incorrectly.
That's the reason for it.
I'm saying that's the reason for it. But along the way of trying to achieve racial justice, you just did it wrong.
But let me ask you.
That's my point.
You said
People did it the way we were
The
asked.
reasoning was right. The approach was wrong.
So
Now
now you make
it's
some
we.
20-year-old kid pay?
No, but you came out and said something that
Now it's we. You see how you said people did what we was asked. Now it's we. But when we just said you said I didn't do it. I didn't. So are you with it or are you not with it? Which one is it, buddy?
Was wrong.
So now you make some 20-year-old kid pay?
No, but you came out and said something that you said that you're against the Department of Education, right? Let me tell you
Federal
something.
Department.
Yeah, Federal Department of Education. Let me tell you something that has come up in a lot of circles that I'm always talking about as a person with a disability. The Department of Education does a lot more in terms of, even with the enforcement of Section 504, right? 504 says that you must have accommodations for individuals with disabilities, right? Perfect example.
I don't know
when you
nothing
walked
about
in,
this.
When you walked in or someone just walked in, did you hear what that thing said? Right, left. Go down to Austin. Let me tell you something. When you suspend the Department of Education, you're also telling the remain 36 million people in this country who have disabilities, you know what? Screw you. Figure it out. We don't have to do anything, okay? And this is another reason, going back to what we said with the Black America. If you don't have certain mechanisms in place to ensure that there is a fair and level playing field, right? Guess what? The controlling party that's in power, or what have you, are not going to say, hey, wait a minute.
He ain't gonna get it. He's speaking to a brick wall
of the community or what have you, and see how can we provide
I'll
a more
disabuse you of that
inclusive-
notion. Okay, let me disabuse you of that notion.
Go ahead.
Over $3 trillion adjusted for inflation, right? The Department of Education, early 70s. Okay, before that they were run by states. Over $3 trillion. What are math scores? What are literacy scores now? In both.
Depends on what part of the country you're asking that about.
Across the board. Across the board.
You can't go there because I'm gonna tell you why you can't go there.
Hold on. I'll answer the question. Because then I'll show you an example of something that actually works. Because we need solutions. They're across the board down. In other words, $3 trillion test scores are worse. And they're even worse in poor areas where there's more spending. Do you know where black students in New York City actually do really well? White Catholic schools. where they have more students per teacher, on average 35 plus. In other words, they have fewer teachers. It's done privately. Charter schools, school choice is something I support. That means for everyone in this country. Can't do it because it's racist.
Let's look at the academia, though, okay?
That's why
when
it's
you
being
start,
fought.
When you start talking about that, what have you, when you talk about test scores, we can go just south, north versus south or what have you. Let's look at the quality of education that's in these schools or what have you. Are you going to tell me that it's a standardized academic agenda that's promoted throughout this country? Or is it a fact that some people have a different education level than black? Listen, I work with people.
They're bad across the board.
I work with people every day that are also
No, not a different level than black. No. It's different levels of how they teach them.
Right. There's no good.
They ain't gonna teach you shit.
And what I'm saying is,
in the
here's something where we
poverty
can
area.
find common. I've proposed this, many people have. We go, look, instead of giving money to a school, like you say, some of these schools suck, right? Instead of just putting, let's say the average spending is $15,000 per student. That's a rounded number. It's anywhere from 13 to 50, okay? If instead of putting that money in the administrative costs at a school, what you do is you say, okay, that's a grant, that's a voucher that attaches to the student, and they can take it to any school they want, so they have to compete. So that kid can now choose where they go to school. Can't do it because it's racist. That's why it's been fought. People say black kids would still be stuck in shit schools than white kids.
Why?
Well, see, that comes
Because they wouldn't be able to transport themselves out of a bad neighborhood.
So-
But right now they're stuck
So-
with one school.
So when you,
So
when
you
you
know.
start asking those whys and go down the rabbit hole of why and start asking, okay, well, why would somebody say that? Well,
Yeah.
this is why.
Well, I'll tell you why they
feel that
really
way?
say it.
And
Because
then
of teachers' unions.
because of teachers unions.
Yeah. It doesn't make, in other words, if a
But I
black,
get
if a
the
black kid right now has to go to
because
one.
in certain communities where they don't have certain resources, it's a lot of kids. Once again, I live in. I've raised my kids, graduated 3 kids from. I've been afforded some things in this community that some people down south don't have.
Yeah,
right.
that's a fact.
And some of these school events, I'm questioning them like, how the hell y'all expect us to have jobs and still transport these kids to and from these events all throughout the day? But if them people down there had to do it,
So you think what we're doing now is better?
Because they ain't got transportation. Half of them ain't got transportation.
I think we need to go back to the real
don't have
truth and the real
transportation
truth.
Because
They
that's
can
what
run
I'm
it.
saying. Because they're in impoverished areas, and we already know, based on how we see.
So then how do we
those
fix
same-
it? We have
those
to pay
same
for a
areas
car,
don't even
a
have
house?
grocery stores.
No, of course not.
Those same
Oh,
areas
that's
don't.
horseshit.
There's
I
food
see
deserts.
everyone
Come
here,
on now, you don't know
everyone here
about
has a
food deserts.
smartphone. You can literally order any food that's ever existed on Earth to any
No money?
municipality
If
cheaper than ever.
if you're in an area that already has a lack of resources and you're already low income, how you gonna
And
order
some
something?
people don't deliver their.
Amazon, one click.
But see, here's the
You
deal.
ain't
Here's the
got
deal,
money.
Steve.
We're
I
talking
think-
about food
take
deserts in
snap on
2025. Come on.
I think there's a broader problem that we will not discuss, and you know what that is? You've got to go all the way back. This has been an insidious process that's been at work, and the bad part about it is, as long as we as white and black America keep
Yeah, they ain't gonna come to no understanding though, for real.